Hello, I'm Brother Anthony Michael. I'm a Dominican friar of the province of the Most Holy Name of Jesus, and today I will be showing you how to make a beaded paracord rosary. Now I will briefly go over the materials and tools you will need to make this paracord rosary. On the side of the materials, you will need at least 8 feet or 96 inches of paracord 550. Additionally, you'll need 53 Hail Mary beads and 6 Our Father beads. When you're looking at different beads and selecting them, make sure that they have at least a hole size of 4.5 millimeters so that they can easily fit onto the paracord. Lastly, you will need a crucifix, and the crucifix that I have is a St. Benedict crucifix that is 3 inches. And also you will need a 9 millimeter split ring to securely attach it to the rosary. On the side of the tools, you will need scissors, and the scissors will be used to cut out the excess paracord. You will also need a lighter to burn the ends of the paracord, and this will be useful because it'll let the beads slide on easier, and it'll give the rosary a cleaner finish when you're done. And also with the lighter, you can use a tea light candle to free up a hand to manipulate the paracord. And lastly, you will need a thick glove to avoid being burned by the hot paracord. So let's get started. First step is to prepare the paracord. The paracord should be 96 inches. So that's about 8 feet of paracord is what you'll need. If you don't feel comfortable with that, you can go a little more, so maybe 100 inches if you're worried about length. And the first thing is to cut off any of the excess paracord at the end, the insides. Once you have cut off the excess paracord, you'll need a lighter. I also find it makes it easier if you have a tea light candle to free up a hand. And the way I'll do this is you put on a glove to prevent yourself from getting burned, and you put the paracord into the flame, and it will kind of make this flaming ball at the end of the paracord. And you'll take your glove and just gently blow it out, and then you'll, with your hand, grab it like that. And then you'll do the same with the other side. Blow it out, then grab it with your hand. And this is an important step because it can make the stringing of the beads a lot easier. If you don't do the action with the glove, you'll end up with a kind of a blob at the end. And when you try and string on the Hail Mary beads, it'll be very difficult, as you can see right here. But if you do the action that I just did, it's easier to just put the beads straight on and go like this. Okay. So now that we've successfully cinched the end of our paracord, we can blow out the candle and put it off to the side. Now the first thing that we'll do is we'll tie this knot right here. So this is what the finished product will look like. And we'll tie one of the knots in between here. And it's called a barrel knot. So you'll take your paracord and split it evenly in half, like so. And then once you've found the middle of the paracord, you'll tie a barrel knot. So the way a barrel knot works is you'll have it going diagonally on your fingers like this. I like to have 2 fingers. Then you'll drape it behind your fingers and just have it come straight down like so. Then what you'll do is you'll make an X with the paracord. So you'll go X over here, and then you'll do another X parallel to it, like this. Once you have this is the basic structure of the knot. And what I like to do is I kind of hold it in place with one hand and gently pull out my index finger. So now I have the X with the 2 parallel strands. You'll take the right side and wrap it around and put it through into the open hole, like this, and gently pull it through. This is when it can get pretty difficult, so you'll have to move your thumb out of the way and then put it back. And gently While keeping the knot in place, you'll remove your other hand and slowly twist the 2 strands. Slowly twist and pull at the same time. It can look messy, but just generally keep the structure of the knot. Then once you have it to a fairly decent spot, you can pull tight on either end. And now I will show you a barrel knot again, but this time in slow motion. Once you have this is one of the middle knots of the rosary, and you'll take an Our Father bead and string it on to the right side of the knot. Then you'll do the exact same kind of knot. You'll do another barrel knot. So I'll show one more time how to do a barrel knot. You'll do 2 fingers, go behind both of them, go straight down, make an X pattern, make the X pattern again with parallel to the first one. Then you'll hold it with your thumb and remove your index finger. Then you'll take your right hand, wrap it around, go through both of them, both the loops. Gently pull, reposition your thumb, keep pulling, and you'll twist, twist, and pull, twist and pull. Twisting. Then once you got it mostly formed, you can position it more closely to the Our Father bead by pulling over here and tightening it by twisting up. So you just twist the slack through and keep pulling. And then once you have it where you want it, you can pull on both ends. And this is when we could start stringing on the Hail Marys. So the way it'll work from here is we started directly in the middle, tied a barrel knot, put on an Our Father, and now we'll put on 3 decades going to the right. So continuing doing 3 decades to the right. Putting on 10 Hail Mary beads. Once you have the 10 Hail Mary beads on, check and make sure there's actually 10 there. And then you'll tie another barrel knot. And I like to leave a little extra length in the decade to have room to move the beads as you pray the rosary. And we'll do the same thing for 2 more decades. Our Father, 10 Hail Marys. When we finish the 10 Hail Marys, we'll just do a simple knot to close off this part of the rosary. Leave a little room and pull tight. So now we have half the rosary built, and we'll switch over to the other side. So go back to the original barrel knot, and then we'll do 2 decades on that side. Barrel knot. Put on an Our Father bead. After you got the last decade of Hail Mary beads on, you won't do a barrel knot. You'll just do another simple knot. Just 1 loop and put it through. And now you have the main portion of your rosary built, as you can see here. So the next step is to tie what's called a Celtic heart knot. So this knot right here that joins the 2 sides together, this is called a Celtic heart knot. And I will show you how to do that. You'll take one of the sides, the right side is usually what I prefer, and you'll make a loop like this with it going over on the top here of the strand of the rosary. Then you'll take the other side and you'll place the loop on top of the left side right here. and then you'll go over the right side, and I like to hold my pinky to keep it in place. So you'll go over, under, over is the general pattern. So over the right one, under over here, under, and then you'll go over, under, over. So that pull up in the middle, you'll go over, under, over. And then you got a general form of the knot. And I like to just pull all the extra slack through until you have it in a place that you like. So I want to show you the Celtic heart knot one more time, but in slow motion. It helps to, when you get the slack out, to hold both your fingers on the knot and pull, and that'll get it tighter without losing its shape. Okay. Also, if you have any metals, you can attach them in between here, like a miraculous metal. So now that we have the Celtic heart knot, I'll show you the last type of knot that we'll have today, which is, it's called a two-stranded diamond knot. And this knot is a very hard knot to tie. So if you don't feel up to the task, you can always just do a simple barrel knot and put both strands through the barrel knot. But if you want to learn the two-stranded diamond knot, I'll show you right now. So you'll take the rosary and take your left hand and put it in between, put your middle finger in between the two strands of paracord like this. So you'll have a right strand and a left strand. With the right strand, you'll make a loop and gently set it on top of the left strand. And the loop will look like this, where it'll come up between your third and fourth finger. It'll go over and then loop back. So it rests on top of the left strand and then it goes back underneath itself. Then you'll take the left strand, and I like to have my pinky in place here to hold it in place, and you'll bring it underneath the right strand. So you have it like this. And then the pattern here is you're going to go over under, over. So over this strand, and then under the next one. So it helps to pull it up a little bit. So you'll go over, under, over, and then pull through. And so once you have that in place, it should be going underneath this right strand, but on the far side of the strand coming up between your fingers. It'll go over this part of the loop, underneath itself, then over the other part of the loop. Next, you'll take the strand that you just finished right here, and I like to have my thumb hold it in place, put it down, and it'll go underneath the right strand. Underneath the right strand. And it'll actually go underneath the whole knot as well. So you'll kind of snuggle it in underneath here. And then this is where it gets a little tricky. You'll take this same strand and you'll go up in the middle, this hole in the middle. So you'll go underneath these two and up into the middle. Like this. And then finally, you'll take this strand hanging off to the right. You'll go around the strand coming up between your second and third finger, and then it'll also go up into this middle hole. We'll go around this strand here and up into the middle. And you'll make sure it's kind of underneath the knot. You want it underneath. If you have it over, it won't work. You want it underneath here. So then you have how the whole knot's been tied, but you just have to gently pull until it gets into shape. And now this is also a tricky part. You'll have to pull the slack through, so sometimes it's difficult to figure out how the knot works, but just pull in sections and gently pull this extra slack through until you have it where you want it. Okay. And then once you have it in place, you can pull tight on both sides, but be careful not to pull over here because that can mess with the Celtic hard knot. So just pull really closely to where you. All right, let's slow it down one last time for the two-stranded diamond knot. Okay, we're almost done here. So now we just have to do the introduction part of the Rosary, which is the Our Father bead, the 3 Hail Marys, and then the last Our Father with the crucifix. So here you'll take one of the bigger Our Father beads and string it through both strands of paracord. So you'll go through one, get it on, and then you can take the other one. And this might be difficult depending on the size of your bead. Then kind of just push and pull. Once you have that on there, you'll take the longer strand of paracord. So if you'll notice, there are different lengths here. One's shorter than the other. You'll take the longer one because that's the one you'll keep. And you'll do a barrel knot just going around the other one. You'll go barrel knot with the X. And then you'll put it through the loop here. And then when you pull, you can hold the other strand in place as well. Gently twist and push, pull. Then pull very tightly here. And then this is when you can cut off the shorter end of the paracord if you want, or you can do it at the very end. So I'll do that now. I'll cut off the shorter end of paracord. And then I'll do the 3 Hail Marys here. Do one more barrel knot. And then lastly, we come to the last Our Father and the crucifix. So the way this is going to work is you're going to put on the Our Father bead. You'll tie a barrel knot through, but don't tighten it. You'll strand on the crucifix, and then you'll put the string back through the barrel knot. So that's a lot going on, but I'll show you slowly here. So you'll put on an Our Father bead is the first step. You'll tie a barrel knot. But when you tie the barrel knot, don't tighten it. So I usually pull it through here, and then you'll grab your crucifix, and you'll strand your paracord through the crucifix, and then you'll put it back through the barrel knot like this. And then when you tighten the barrel knot, make sure that everything stays in place. Usually it's easier to get the knot established first, and then you can move it to where you need it to be. So now I'll pull a bunch of the slack through. Then I'll put the barrel knot into the place that I want. Gently pull, tighten it. Maybe so. Okay. Then once you have it where you want it to be, you can cut off the excess of the paracord. And then the last step is to make it have a clean finish. I like to singe off the ends of the paracord to make it look nicer. So you can grab a tea light candle if you have it. Again, light it. And the way I do this is I just kind of move the beads out of the way and hold the end to it like this till it burns off the ends. And then I'll take the edge of a scissors and I'll press it to flatten it. So you can go like this, or you can leave the scissors down, flatten it. Make it kind of look like that. And if there's something that you missed, you can just go back and burn. Then flatten here. And we'll do the same for the other. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make a paracord rosary. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and we'll be praying for you.